Welcome to Alpha Insights. I'm Jeff. Today we're diving into the cannabis sector, where culture is clearly moving forward, but policy and implementation are still tripping things up. With me is Ben, our commodities and sector specialist. Ben, great to have you. And listeners, remember, if you have questions as we go, you can ask us at stockalpha.ai.
Thanks, Jeff. Good to be here. There's a lot to unpack. Some eye-catching consumer moments and some very practical regulatory headaches. Both matter for investors.
Let's start with the cultural side. We saw a hemp-derived THC beverage tied to a major Fashion Week event and even a cannabis plant getting mainstream horticulture recognition in Europe. Why should investors care about these kinds of stories?
Those stories signal normalization. When a high-profile stylist brings a hemp-based drink into a major fashion event, or a strain wins a top garden prize, it changes perception. That can lower the stigma retailers and hospitality partners feel about doing deals. For consumer-facing companies, that visibility can help open distribution channels and justify premium pricing, but it's not automatic revenue. The key question is whether these brand moments convert into distribution and repeat purchasing.
So, culture gives companies a runway, but they still need the mechanics to turn visibility into sales. What are those mechanics?
Right. Think of three things: distribution, regulatory clearance, and conversion. Distribution means real retail or hospitality deals and supply chain capacity. Regulatory clearance means product formulations and labeling meet state rules. Conversion is marketing that actually drives first-time buyers into repeat customers. If a company has those pieces, especially dependable distribution and compliant products, a Fashion Week moment can accelerate sales. If it doesn't, it's mostly PR.
Now, the other side of the coin, policy friction. Florida missed the signature threshold to get adult use legalization on the ballot, and Nebraska's Medical Commission chair stepped down after about 9 months. Walk us through why those are more than just local news.
Those developments matter because cannabis is still largely state by state. Florida is a huge population market. If adult use had moved forward there, it would have materially increased demand for licensed operators. The campaign needed 880,062 valid signatures and fell short, so that expansion is delayed. In Nebraska, leadership turnover at the regulator can slow licensing, inspections, and rulemaking. Implementation risk like that tends to hit smaller and mid-sized operators first, and it shows up in delayed revenue and bumpier cash flow.
For investors watching names in this space, what should they be monitoring next week and over the coming months?
There are a handful of things. 1. Earnings and guidance from multi-state operators and consumer brands. Those will reveal whether branding gains are turning into sales. 2. State-level calendars and signature drives. Florida missing the ballot makes other states more important for growth. 3. Regulatory execution in states like Nebraska. Any delays to licensing timelines matter. 4. M&A chatter. Consolidation often accelerates when policy clarity improves. And 5. Retail and hospitality partnership announcements. They can be early signals that distribution and consumer demand are actually scaling.
You mentioned company-level risk. Investors often look at ETFs for a basket approach. How should they think about the cannabis ETF versus individual companies like Trulieve, Green Thumb Industries, Curaleaf, and Tilray?
ETFs can smooth some company-specific volatility because they spread exposure across operators and markets. The advisor shares. Pure US Cannabis ETF is one example investors watch for basket-level flows. Individual names still carry idiosyncratic risk, licensing footprints, balance sheet strength, and execution on retail and wholesale channels. If you prefer less single-name risk, an ETF can be sensible, but you lose upside if a single operator nails a big expansion.
Practical advice for portfolio positioning. What do you do if you're overweight, underweight, or new to the sector?
If you're overweight already, revisit why you're there. Do you own companies with diversified state footprints and healthy cash buffers? If not, consider trimming. If you're underweight or new, be selective. Favor operators with strong balance sheets, diversified licenses across states, and proven distribution or wholesale relationships. Look for companies that can survive policy delays and still grow revenue. And across the board, size your positions so regulatory surprises don't force panic selling.
Any quick red flags investors should watch for in quarterly reports or press releases?
Yes, watch for deferred licensing timelines, slower than expected store openings, shrinking same-store sales in core markets, and rising cash burn. Also keep an eye on inventory write-downs and any regulatory fines. Those can be costly. Positive signs include expanding wholesale agreements, successful retail openings, and improving cash flow margins.
Great, let's wrap with 3 quick takeaways for listeners.
First, cultural acceptance is growing, and that helps long-term demand, but visibility is not the same as revenue. Second, policy and implementation risk remain real and can delay or dent near-term returns. Third, favor companies with diversified footprints, strong balance sheets, and clear go-to-market plans. Or consider ETFs if you want broader exposure.
Thanks, Ben. If you have questions about anything we discussed today, ask us directly at stockalpha.ai. We answer listener questions live. And for more market insights, head over to stockalpha.ai. That's Alpha Insights with Jeff and Ben. Catch you next time.